All right, see, and this is what I mean about this guy's channel. You know what I mean? Because I know I've talked about this guy, I've gone over this guy, but it can't be said enough. Okay, when you have a channel that's dedicated, you know, you say you're promoting unions. Okay, you say you're promoting unions. Okay, but you're against the black man or women that wants to have their own business. Okay, you're against that, but you want to promote unions. Okay, first of all, there's a number of things that are problematic about that. First of all, you can't be in a union unless you have a skill first. And you can't you can't have unions unless you have industries first. Okay, industries come in first, then the union comes in after the fact. All right. Okay, so first you got to figure out what skill you want to get, or what union. Okay, you got to figure out what skill you're going to get first, or what industry you're going to get in. Then the union comes after that, if the union comes at all. If the company that you work at has its own internal union, you don't need the outside union. Okay, if the employees are happy with the internal union and they're getting all their needs met with the internal union, then there's kind of no need for, you know, an outside, to be a member of an outside union. There's no need for it. It's only going to complicate things. Okay? That's all it's going to do. So you promote these unions. And I remember when Mr. Research said, he was talking about one of his, I guess, buddies or whatever that lives out in the suburbs. He went to visit him, and I think his buddy was like a welder. So he has his own welding business. He's doing his own thing in his own welding business. And, you know, welders, they graft things, you know, they graft items, you know, gates and stuff like that, and they sell them to people. And that's how they make their money. You know, they also go out and do construction stuff and stuff like that. But Mr. Research had the nerve to make the comment and say, why are you making things and asking people to buy them? What kind of shit is that? Why would you ask another black man something like that? First of all, okay, a black man with his own business, a black man who has the ability to employ other black men, okay, that should be something that should be celebrated. You know what I mean? That should be something that should be celebrated, because we already don't have enough black men who are able to employ other black men to begin with. Okay, we already don't have enough. Okay, and to run into a black man who is industrious enough to make his own business and then make his own products and sell them on the market, that alone, you know, is enough to be celebrated. Stuff like that gets entrepreneurial guys like myself excited. That's what gets us excited. Black people working for big ass white companies, even if they are unionized, That doesn't excite me because that's the model black people used the last 4 or 5 decades, is go work for these big white companies and then become a victim of these big white companies when they outsource or when they decide to replace you with other demographics of people or whatever. Then you're mad. Okay, but the black man or woman that owns their own business, that person is in a powerful position. And when you attack people like that, okay, when you want to attack the black man or woman that owns their own business, that speaks a lot about you. You know what I mean? That speaks a lot about your mindset. You know what I mean? So what's going on in your mindset? Are you jealous of these black men or women that have their own businesses? Why? Because they're talented, they have a skill and you don't? Is that why you're attacking them? You're jealous of them? See, the black man or woman who owns their own business, they don't fucking need a union because they have a skill. That brother who's a welder, he has a skill. He doesn't need a union. You don't need a union when you have a skill. Because when you have a skill, you can compete. You can go out, you can get your own jobs, you can hunt your own food and eat it. And then you can, how should I say it? You know, and then you can compete with the damn unions. You don't need the unions. You're competition to the unions when you have your own skill. A person with their own skill is dangerous to unions. Okay, so Mr. Research attacks other black people that have skills. Talk about you shouldn't get a trade so that you can learn how to fix things yourself. You should. So what? You should go hire the Mexican to fix everything, so that he can go, take his money back in his community and build up his community. Okay, so every black person should go try to be a manager in some big ass white ass company that's owned by the white man. He shouldn't try to build his own company. He should look for a good white man to go work for. Okay? If that's the case, why has Mr. Research not had as much success with that himself? Every couple of months, Mr. Research is getting fired, or every year or year and a half or 2 years, Mr. Research has a whole new job. You know what I mean? He doing a whole new thing because he done got fired off his last job. Yeah. You know what I mean? He done got fired off his last job. You know. Because he done went in there and hit on the women. Or he didn't intimidated the women and stuff on the job. So now they getting his ass up out of there. But he wants to go talk about a black man that owns his own welding shop and is making money. Okay, that black man that owns his own welding shop is more successful than Mr. Research. Okay, because can't no white man walk up into that welding shop, alright, and fire him out of the welding shop. Okay, for hitting on the women, or for saying something to the women. That does not happen to that brother, because that brother owns his own shop. Okay? If anyone gets hired and fired, it's going to be up to that brother to make that decision. Okay, but you want to work on these jobs, be in these white folks' face who don't want you there, and you getting fired and kicked out, and you think you're clever and stuff because you're talking smart to them in the boardroom. When you do that, all they do is just plot on you to transfer you around to different departments so they don't have to see your ass every day. And then later on down the line, they're gonna wait until you break a violation or you break a rule of the company, and they're gonna either reprimand you and cut your pay and demote you, or they're gonna get your ass up out of there. Most of the time they'd rather just get your ass up out of there. You see what I'm saying? But you want to go talk about a brother that owns his own welding shop. Okay? Everybody, especially nowadays in the black community, everyone loves and is rooting for the black entrepreneur. Everybody wants to see the black entrepreneur succeed. Okay? What they don't want is they don't want the, how should I say it? What they're tired of is they're tired of the black dude who's an employee who only wants to talk down and look down on other black people. That's what they're tired of. That's what they don't want to see. You see what I'm saying? And he speaks so disparagingly about brothers with trades. And I always used to wonder why, but now I understand why. It's really jealousy. And these brothers with when you have a trade, you have agency. You can go anywhere in the United States and work. You're not confined to one region or one. And the only place Mr. Research can really work is in the Bay Area. And he probably gets on with these companies based on his status of being a felon, because I think California offers that program. But that's the only place where he can really be a manager. He can't go to other states and do his thing without them looking at him funny, unless he starts his own business. But he's not going to start his own business because he's not talented enough. You see what I'm saying? He can't do anything without working under a white man or working in the white man's company. Okay? But you want to go attack black men and women who own their own companies and own their own businesses and ain't asking for nothing from nobody. Okay? Okay? All right. So that's the thing. Okay, and look at this guy's channel. This guy's channel is so dead. He used to have a lot of support way back in the day when he had a channel called Manhood Lessons. Okay, but he doesn't have that support anymore. And what I noticed, he doesn't interact with other black people who are doing things. He kind of stays isolated on his own channel and want to talk down to black people and reminisce about the unions back in the day, stuff like that. And the thing is, the only union that black men really were big in was the Pullman Carters Union. That was for the black railroad workers. That was really the only union that black men really had. The white boys was trying to keep black men out of all the rest of the unions, out of welding, out of plumbing, everything else. And that's really what it was. But that's a whole, I'll talk about the Pullman Car Union a whole nother day. That's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day. Until then, leave, comment, subscribe, peace, get the likes up. Thank you.